Good day, race fans, and welcome to the Intentional Wreck Podcast, the podcast made by race fans for race fans, from the casuals to the lifelong gearheads. My name is Jeff. I'm here with my fellow hosts, Corey and Finn. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify and Twitch under the name Intentional Wreck. Pretty soon, you'll be able to catch our own Finn here doing commentary for the Moonlight Racing League on Wednesday nights. Please stay tuned for dates on that and make sure you go and check that out. Finn, did you have any info on that? I know this is a recent development that you're pretty excited for. So
Yeah, man, getting in the booth. So you guys know I do I run a lot of video game leagues, namely in the football space, the college football and the Madden. I'm taking a branch here. I've raced in iRacing leagues, and I'm excited to kind of step in the booth there and try my hand at that. It's going to be Moonlight Racing League. They were going to be running their Xfinity series on Wednesday nights, so we're going to do that live over on their YouTube and probably rebroadcast it to our YouTube channel. So it's just an opportunity to combine worlds, right? The virtual racing with this podcast and kind of support those racing leagues, because the cars aren't real, but the racing's real, and that's it's seriously. I mean, it's good stuff, and that is a great league of fine gentlemen that race clean. I'm not expecting it to be a big caution fest, and they got some good characters. So we're excited to highlight those guys, introduce them to this podcast, and maybe introduce you guys to that league. So excited for it.
yeah, and, well, I mean, as we know at this point, the tie-ins and the
Right.
just the interconnectivity between iRacing and NASCAR as a whole and racing around the world is so strong at this point. I mean, there's so much hand in hand. You already have NASCAR iRacing leagues. You have iRacers that have become NASCAR drivers. You have all kinds of stories like that. At this point, it's commonplace enough that the concept of, oh, you're just gaming that doesn't translate to the abilities that it takes to get yourself on track, that's been proven wrong multiple times now. We have all that kind of stuff. So like it's just really cool to see as much tie-in. And honestly, I think it's one thing I think NASCAR's done pretty well at, is just like trying to embrace that. Dale Jr. in particular has done an amazing job of making sure that people know that this is serious stuff, that iRacing is a big deal, and it's the real deal.
iRacing is as close as you're going to get on a screen to the real sport. Period. It's not like it's not even close. So we played NHL and Madden and baseball, the show and PGA, every sports game known to man. There is no way to get closer to an actual sport playing a video game than iRacing. Period.
There's no instance where playing, like, I could play MLB The Show for 1,000,000 hours, and in no way is that going to translate to me being able to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
100%.
Well, right, and it's all about what you crave. And I always tell people, like, you don't want a real football sim. You don't, because you're not smart enough for the complexities of what is football. So when you play Madden or college football, you walk away enjoying the experience, and you can feel like, yes, I'm a good college football video game player or Madden game player, right? But you don't walk away going, I felt like a football player for the last hour.
Yeah.
When you play iRacing, you leave going, I felt like I was wheeling that thing. You straight up feel like a wheel man. I mean, again, when I first started racing, the adrenaline dumps I would get after a race, I genuinely could not do but one race a night, because I was just like, holy shit. Like, I had to get used to like that, and like seat time and learning tracks, different disciplines, different cars, and as you realize, the better you get, the closer the racing is, so it gets even more focused. And Corey's been there. The amount of times we've gone, oh shit, I didn't breathe for 20 seconds. I didn't breathe for a minute. Like,
why do my eyes hurt? Oh, because I haven't blinked.
We've talked about Denny Hamlin with that, like during the race when the broadcast focused, and like that's what happens in some of these racing streams, So
yeah.
So Chase Briscoe, am I right?
Yeah,
hey!
Let's go, baby.
Corey gets to witness his second win for Briscoe, and I'll get to reap a benefit of us getting another JGR driver in the playoffs. So that's going to be good news all around. It's been very exciting, and like this was pretty much a long time coming with the amount of top fives that this man was pulling over the last few weeks, and as well as he was qualifying and everything else. You were just kind of wondering, like, when is this going to translate to the end of a race? You know, when is this going to mean he's going to stay at the front?
Right.
Yeah.
And finish one of these races out. And it was an exciting finish, all things considered. Like, you can have, there's a discussion to be had about aero blocking and everything else, but like watching fuel strategy, watching tire strategy, and watching stuff like that is one of the things that makes the sport exciting. When you're in a situation like that, if you were listening to the radios and you're hearing Chase's crew going, "We're screwed on fuel. We don't have fuel," you know, and then you're hearing like Denny's team like in the back, they're like, "Yeah, they don't have fuel, man. You got to get up there and attack." You know, and you're kind of just hearing the mind games and all the different stuff that's happening, and then you just never know if somebody's going to spin out in the back, cause a caution, and here comes the restart, and that completely tanks somebody's race.
Right.
So,
yeah. I mean, before we dive into it, who got victory lane? Is that you there, Jeff?
Yes.
Who was your man this week? I forgot.
That would be.
Is that Denny Hamlin himself?
Yeah.
P2?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
All right, well, you get a minute. Run your minute.
I will take it. This is it's a bit of a medley for my victory lane this week. For one, I hate summer. It's hot. It's a heat wave. It's terrible. I'm not shaped for it. Outside is awful. I don't like being there. If I could hibernate during the summer, I absolutely would. Call me a curmudgeon if you will. I am a large man. I am built for the cold. This is not my time of year. I am melting every day. This sucks. The other thing I want to go over is this is all the props in the world for Forza adding official Indy cars in their latest update, which is fantastic. Really excited to get those out on track. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to spend the last part of my minute with an ode to Mr. James Wood, the shining light on what has become a dull turd of a national season so far. James Wood is currently slashing at 277 with a 927 OPS, and I believe 6th on the home run list right now. For no other reason to tune into Nationals baseball, it's to watch every at bat that this kid steps up to. He is hopefully the future of this franchise. We couldn't have asked for a better return just in him alone, but also CJ and Gore and some of the other folks that came along in that Soto trade have really started to shine and shown that they're going to be key elements of the team moving forward. But my God, what a story. You got a kid that was born in Maryland, playing for the Nationals, and is playing like a bona fide star this early in his career. Just amazing. I don't normally buy current MLB player jerseys simply because, you know, players move, and I root for a team that's not the Yankees, the Dodgers, or one of the larger market teams. So I run the risk of buying a jersey and having a player be gone the next year. Hopefully the learners get smart, lock this contract up for a long term, and then if I know that happens, then I'll be going and buying me a 29 jersey. But that's my victory lane. Let's get on with the rest of the show.
Yeah, well, I had to watch most of the Pocono race on my phone as I was prepping for a show in Raleigh. So I didn't get too much sound because I was in the middle of sound check. And so all I know is I was watching a good chunk of the race, and then I turned it off, went to did our set for a quick song for sound check, came back, and Alex Bowman was in the lead. And I was just like, oh, shit. We're riding, but I did get to catch the ending. I didn't get to catch kind of, the controversy of the inability to pass and the frustrations with the car and stuff. But I will say this about the Chase Briscoe fuel scenario. This wouldn't be the first time that I think that we just don't know how much fuel is going on with these cars. Because, yes, based on how much fuel they got put in that stop, they thought he was multiple laps short. But also, we have no way of knowing, did he pit with a couple extra laps of fuel in the tank than they thought? Did they get more in on an earlier stop? So I do think it might have been a smidge, dramatized. I don't know exactly
I
the
don't think
term.
that's not exactly true though. I don't think because there's a fixed amount of gas in the car at the start of the race, and then they're weighing the cans as they go through the race to figure out exactly how much fuel got into the car,
Right, but
or at least
you gotta
within
play.
spillage and all that.
Right. You gotta play with the spillage and how much got in,
Yeah.
and it's one of those
Whether
like
it actually attaches to the fuel tank.
right.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure they have great estimates, but like to hear people say like he was burning out. They obviously had enough fuel. He wasn't even shaking. He didn't
He
even.
did a legit burnout for a
Hey,
good minute.
he burned
Yeah.
it down. He burned it down. That was one of the better ones to hear. I think it's huge and I think it's interesting how it came at a race where there wasn't this pressure of you're pole, you're fast, you need to win. It was just like you've been fast. The scenario worked itself out. Strategy ended up working itself out, and you in there. And maybe it wasn't the cleanest win that we expected to see. It wasn't a Truex dominance level win, but I think this gets that off the back of that 19 team, and I think this begins a scenario where we see a 3-win season from them. I mean, the Gibbs cars have been fast. The 19 in particular has been fast. And guess what? If this was the Winston Cup standings, you may see those Twitter accounts that flow around that update as if we weren't doing a playoff standing. Briscoe's top 5. So on paper, results-wise, the 19 team is getting the job done, per se, in comparison to the league, right? He's racing well, putting themselves in championship contender. But obviously we know, like, that hasn't come to fruition, right? He hasn't been racing up front and dominating and leading races. Even then, he won a race where he wasn't the fastest car on the track, and that's okay. But I think that I think this helps them a lot, get them by it.
It was a little bit of kind of fumbling their way into it, I think, which is fine, right? If you race up front enough, if you race in the top 5 enough, somebody's going to screw up, or fortune's just going to go your way, and eventually you're going to find a win, right? But when you couple Chase making the mistake on pit road, leaving early, with some confusion about how much fuel was already in the car, how much it was burning, etc. And then you get to there were no passes in the top 5 for the last 30 laps of the race, with the all-time Pocono GOAT running second.
Right.
It feels, it's not that it feels hollow, but it feels a little, all right, boys, fortune favored us on this one, right?
Right.
So they kind of mistaked their way into it. And if Chase hadn't made the mistake and they came out behind Denny, race over.
Right. Exactly.
Period.
So we're not, for all the times you should have won the race and you didn't because something happened. We'll take it, right? It's one of those, we're not out here saying that he dominated the day. That's fine. Somebody has to win the Pocono race. Somebody has to win it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be mad that it was us.
Right. That's kind of where this is one of those situations where I think the primary discussion to be had is not really about, what did Chase do or not. He won the race. That is what it is. There is a discussion to be had about what the aero blocking situation is with this car, which I think is what dominates some of the conversation right now, because I think there's a lot of people that were watching those last 10 or 15 laps kind of going, okay, now hold on a second. Like, no passes within the top 5, and the same guy has been sitting up here in front, 2 faster cars technically behind him, and they can't actually get up to the bumper, to the quarter panel, and get
not even really that close. Not even really close.
Right, and not even get a chance. And that's a discussion to be had about this car, less about like what Chase did or didn't or deserve or any of that. Like, you play the cards that you're dealt, and he played them well, and that's all that's all that it is regarding him. But we've had discussions about what the aero situation is on this car already. I think plenty of other, podcasts, videos, like anything else, have already addressed this matter. And I know that NASCAR is very likely working different ways, just like they're constantly finding ways to tune the car and find different ways to keep things going interesting. You just hope that they don't go too far in one direction or the other, and we'll find that sweet spot eventually.
Oh, you can go far in one direction. 1,000 horsepower. Crank it up.
Yeah. You're not really going to get many complaints. No matter how many times I have somebody,
even if it's
some like racing analyst tell me, Like, that's not going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference. It's real to me, damn it. You know, like, it's going to make a
Listen.
difference to me to get that 1,000 horsepower car.
I'd rather it suck at 1,000
and
horsepower than it suck at
Yeah.
650. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather it suck at 1,000 horsepower, because then at least it sounds like rockets. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I again, that's what made, like, these are the tracks, right, where you just have like really, really long straightaways, and then these super like single lane turns, right? It's not. I mean, Pocono, even in the era of, you know, of the Gen 4, was largely a track position race, and that's okay. Like, I'm not against those being in rotation, but I mean, Pocono only gets one race now, right? Used to have two, so we get the one race. It's fine. It is what it is. We forget about it. The only thing I'm concerned about is
we had it in the same weekend.
Yeah. I am concerned
2020
that
was wild.
I'm concerned that Indy might feel the same. I'm hoping not. But that's all I would say is, like, I think we're getting to the point where, like, okay, there might just be too much dirty air with the lower, and there's not enough horsepower to cut through it. So, but we'll see. But nonetheless, solid day of racing. And a big. It's good to see another winner. And that's just
11 on the season now. So we got 5 open slots for pointing in, with what, I think 8 races to go.
Yep, and they are. I mean, we've got Atlanta, Chicago, Sonoma, and Dover up next, and I'm interested because, again, SVG might steal both of these. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
or Larson is a good Sonoma driver. Like, guys that have already won are Bell, a road course, really good road course racer as well. So these are other scenarios where, like, those chances for wins are going down and down and down, right? And Atlanta this week coming up, big wild card race for that, and it's going to be a big opportunity for somebody looking to get a win and steal a win, and because with you said 8 races, right? 8 races left, right? 8 races left.
8.
3 road courses.
Yeah.
So if you're not a road course guy, 5 races left.
Yep.
And what are those tracks? We got Atlanta, we got Dover, Daytona. So another wild card, which is good in a way that, you know, if you don't have speed and you're like really on the outside looking in, you know, that's one thing. Indianapolis, so track position, hope you have speed. Iowa, Richmond. So it's gonna be real interesting to see where we go from it, and in that regard.
Yeah, it's gonna be close. There's some guys on the bubble who you really wouldn't expect to be on the bubble, but here we are. What happens if Alex Bowman misses the playoffs?
Everybody's like, Carson Hocevar needs to be in the 40. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, but like.
The begrudging honesty, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex is everything that you want when you talk about, like, the up and coming guys that did it the right way. You know what I mean? Like, you know, dirt roots, worked his way, drove for the shittiest teams. Go look at Alex Bowman's Wikipedia and look at the teams that he was driving for. You know what I mean? And you work your way as a sim driver, and then you're working with, like, right now, Anthony Alfredo is a sim driver for Hendrick Motorsports. Like, imagine, like, you know, watching him, and you're like, oh yeah, seeing him in that Beard Motorsports 62 driving around the back all day. That was Alex Bowman, and then he got the shot, and yes, he's had good seasons and stuff like that, but it's just, I do think that there is a ticking clock, right? Like, a Hendrick car, you know, the day of the charter with all, I mean, listen, some of these guys are ready to go. Okay? Zilich is ready to go. Okay? I don't know if you guys saw, he won his first, I don't know if Pocono counts as an oval, but he won his first oval. This 18-year-old kid is ready to go. All right? This kid is going to be a cup racer, I think, as early as next season. And you know, you never know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen if Tyler Reddick becomes a free agent because of all this charter business. Who's going to sell out for Tyler Reddick? You know, if that even becomes a thing, right? If he is interested in leaving Toyota, I'm sure he'll be fine in the open car type deal. But until all that stuff figures itself out. So Hocevar is obviously the big option, but I think it's just one of those, like, the fans want things to happen quicker than they will happen on the racetrack. I know he's signed through next year. Bowman is, but yeah, it's one of those. Hey, dude.
Well, my question is, it's so that's one thing. The playoffs are one thing. Like obviously missing the playoffs, I think heats that seat up as hot as it can possibly be. But I also kind of wonder, like, is making the playoffs enough to, secure ink? Like, because what I kind of wonder is like, if he makes the playoffs and flames out in the first round, that's still
Right.
like not
I'm with you. I'm
it.
with you on the sentiment there, Jeff, because I think it's making the playoffs is the thing you have to do.
Right.
Right.
And especially if it's
This is
pointing in like
non-negotiable. Make the
team.
playoffs, and then performance in the playoffs is its own separate thing. That determines how long and this and that. If you're not making the playoffs, that is and you're in Hendrick Motorsports, you're not long for that seat. Just plain
Yeah.
and simple. So that I think is, and I think he will. I think Bowman will, and I think Chase Elliott will too.
Yeah, it's important. I was going to say it's important that the nine is also winless,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So that's another piece. Chase Elliott's not, his seat is not ever going to be hot. He makes them too much money, but yeah. Anyway, making the playoffs is like, that's the expectation. And if you're not meeting, that's like not showing up for work if you're
Right.
at Hendrick Motorsports.
And there was an excuse when he got the back injury,
Right.
and there was an excuse when he lost, like he had to exit playoffs early because of that Texas injury. If you remember when he hurt his, I think it was a concussion as well, right? And he wasn't cleared to drive for a while. It's Barry was in the 48 for that and things like that. So, or no, was it Gregson? Yeah, Gregson drove the 48 for a little bit during that time frame. So like, there's those passes, but hey, dude, healthy season and you're and yes, he did get hurt in that big Michigan wreck. And power to him for getting a top 5 at in Mexico City with the hurt body. But it's one of those things like, hey man, you're old, you're in your 30s, and again, he's in his prime. He should be fine. Just win races. Like the last race he won was Chicago Street Race, and he lucked into it. He lucked into it. We need the 40. Like the 48 is used to being like a victory lane car. Like this is not.
Yeah, you need a definitive win.
Yeah.
You need in that car, that team, all of that, for like what I would say is he needs to not point into the playoffs. He needs to win into the playoffs. And it would really, really help the case if that is a definitive win and not a late caution at the end of the third stage and a restart bump kind of deal. Like
Right.
you'd want to see Bowman's in the lead for the last 15, 20 laps and nobody's touching him type of
Right. Just
type of a dub.
rocket, got it, like locked in. Nothing you can do. And we've seen that. I have seen performances by that car, so by that driver. So he's got it. It's just there's a lot.
Well, when is it gonna?
Right.
This is what I wonder. Like as far as a comp, one of the things that I'm curious about is a couple years ago, there was a point where Byron hadn't taken hold yet, and he was what I would have considered underperforming for what we had seen from him in the past. Like when he came up and was running cut for Hendrick, there was a point there for a while where you were like, hold on, I've seen this guy win a race or two. He's done okay. You're like, he's a decent driver and could be doing better. Why is he finishing where he's at right now? What is going on? At some point, the tires got to grip and you got to go. And we saw it happen. So, like, it's not like there's not a chance that the same thing doesn't happen for Bowman, that at some point everything clicks. He gets the confidence, he has like the pathway, and he gets himself through there. He's fully capable of that happening. It's just a matter of when and if, like,
Right.
what are the circumstances that bring that out.
I also think
I fully think that he's capable of doing that.
I also think it's tough to win nowadays. Okay, it is tough. We are seeing constantly in the teens of drivers, whereas back in the day it was like, hey, better car, you're winning. We had guys winning a third of the schedule, and even
9, 10
more
races, right? And no one's gonna sniff that this year.
Right.
And that's it. The wins are spread out. I think you have 3 or 4 guys with 3 wins, and that's it. The most anyone has is 3.
Right. Like when you've got a top 5 car or a winning race car, like winning race speed, it's no longer 2 other drivers that have it. There's 7 to 8 drivers that are showing up with race-winning speed every week. And whether they are, making bad decisions during the race, get unlucky with cautions, wreck out, get caught up in stuff. But like, that's the problem, is like, it's no longer like, oh shit, these 2 guys had a bad day, now's my time to shine. Now it's like, if you didn't bring your best all race long, right? That's my big concern with the 48 has been strategy calls, just constantly on the wrong side of strategy calls. And I don't know who to blame. In some instances, I'll blame Blake Harris, but what happens if we get one more crew chief and it doesn't work out for Bowman? How can we... Greg Ives, Blake Harris, and another probably high-profile crew chief. How many times do we have to say, okay, well, it's not the driver, My frustration with Alex, he's not top 5 at any racetrack except for COTA. And he has not won a race at COTA. That makes sense? There's not a single track on the schedule I go, God. We look at Briscoe. We got Phoenix. We got Martinsville. And we got, like, Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at Briscoe, I go, even in a shitty Stewart-Haas car, there's a tracks that you look at. Eric Jones is, like, the best Darlington racer in the series. Like, there's guys that are just... Alex Bowman doesn't do that. He's just got tracks that he's kind of better at, and then he's got tracks that he's a ghost at. And that's the downside for him, right? You look at the Penske boys and those flat tracks, that Worldwide Technology comes up, and I'm going to be picking Austin Cindric for Victory Lane. Like, it's going to happen because that's where those guys are fast. Bowman just doesn't really have his shit. And Elliott, same way, kind of, if you think about it. It used to be road courses, but now it's not. So now it's like, what are you good at? And you're like,
For the last 2 years, during my fanhood, they're basically the same guy.
Yeah.
They're basically the same guy.
Yeah.
During my limited exposure to the sport.
Yeah.
Before that, okay, I've heard all the stories,
right?
But the 9 and the 48 have not shown me anything. Like it's not. You turn on the race on Sunday and you expect the 9 and the 48 to be competitive. You don't.
Right.
You just don't.
Yeah.
And it's the same. It's the same sort of eye test thing I did with Blaney, where it's like, okay, well, why is Blaney up front all the time? Where's the 9?
Right.
Like, he's doing fine, and the numbers show that he's having, up until Briscoe got his win, he and Briscoe were having very similar seasons points wise, but that's not, the results were not the same. But it's still,
listen, I'm gonna give you a comp. I'm gonna give Jeff this comp because, again, newer to the sport. He's having a Dale Jr. in the 8 trajectory path here, where early in his career, lighting the world on fire. Early in the 8 car, Junior was winning races. Junior was competing for championships, you know what I mean? And like, we go to certain tracks, and it was Junior, and that's how it was. And then, some injuries. I don't know if Junior got caught on fire in a sports car injury.
Holy shit.
And like, had a whole bunch of burns on his bodies and stuff like that. It was crazy. But had some injury issues. Same thing with Chase, kind of the snowboarding incident, hurt his leg really bad. And now it was just like this huge winless streak. And even when he started driving for the 88, just could not win races. And then it was like, everybody likes him. And then he'd get to the front one time in a race, and everybody was like, yeah, and it's the loudest you've heard a stadium be ever in your life.
Yeah.
But it happened twice that season, and that's it. And he didn't even win, barely win a race. Like, it's get to the point.
The popularity factor is one of the things where I think that comparison really holds on. I mean, Elliott having a championship is one of the things that helps him in a lot of, where he's at. Like, right now, I mean, because you can still, within memory, we have seen Chase Elliott win a championship, but it's getting further away now.
Dude, he drove from 30. Like,
the distance between wins is getting further away. Yeah. So
I mean, it might be the best, like, Final Four performance of all time for NASCAR. Yeah. He drove straight from the back of the field to the front and won that championship. But yeah, next gen came along. Lost what? I mean, again, he's still a good road course racer, but he used to, the things that we see with SVG where it's like he can pass when nobody else can pass, that used to be Chase Elliott in the old Jenna car. It was just like that. He had something that could get that car to rotate and pass in turns that nobody else could. And there was a confidence about him. Remember when he hit that wall at the Roval because he got sent, and then he wins the race, and he goes back over there and he burns out, and then he gets out and he's standing on top of the car, so the smoke clears, and nobody even saw him get out of the car. You just see him on top. Like that was like aura.
Yeah.
Now he's just kind of that funny picture of him with the sombrero in Mexico City, and he's just like brother, do you want it? Do you know how many people want your ride, brother? Like
that raised a good point too, though. Is also like personality wise, if I'm just getting into the sport and I'm like seeing some of the interviews and seeing stuff, and somebody's telling me that's the most popular driver in racing, and I'm watching these interviews and I'm going,
why?
What? Right. Like, so that's where Corey, I feel like that's where a lot of your sentiments come in, right? Because you do that, and then every time it's an interview and it's like, well, I feel real bad for my guys. I really like to see everybody get a win for everybody. I'm a little disappointed in myself, but most of the time I feel bad for the team, but we're going to get out there and keep working and do the best we can next year. Or somebody going up and saying, hey, they're doing this in-season challenge. Like, how do you think about it? Well, I didn't really hear much about it. Like, what do you even win? $1 million? Wow, I'd really like to win that. Like, awesome. Just exciting personality.
Right. Meanwhile, prime Kyle Busch is spinning out his brother to win the $1 million in the All-Star race. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
By the way, we've been shouting out the Earnhardt, and we shouted out the American Thunder documentary.
Kyle Busch doc is where you're going.
The
with
Rowdy
this
doc. I watched that last Sunday morning, and holy shit, that was incredible.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance to watch that, I think it's on Prime as well. Fantastic to see how he came up. I didn't know this about Kyle Busch, but just kind of peeking the doc there for you, Corey, is so his brother gets signed to Roush Racing. He got picked up by Roush Racing to drive for the Truck Series at 16.
Really?
So he made his debut in the Truck Series at 16.
That's
and
wild.
then they made the Kyle Busch rule, which was you weren't allowed to race in NASCAR until you were 18. So he had to stop racing. And then Roush Racing offered him like a crazy deal, and he rejected it. And he ended up signing with Rick Hendrick. And he was driving the 5 car for Rick that was owned by Ricky Hendrick. His best friend was Ricky Hendrick. That was the whole thing, and that it kind of highlighted, of course, Ricky passing and the plane crash. I thought it was a helicopter crash, but it was a plane crash, a small plane crash. Tony Stewart's helicopter pilot was on the plane, so I realized I had been misremembering things. So yeah, I remember a lot of things, but we'll piece
Kyle
it together.
Busch in the cornflakes car, like that.
Dude,
that blend has just always been just a funny, like, just mini point in history for me. Thinking back to knowing prime Kyle Busch and cornflakes, like as a sponsor.
I mean,
and it's like, man, what an interesting blend you have there.
Right. Talking about his ups and downs, him getting replaced by Junior, and him struggling with the fact that Junior's getting all this love, and he has double the wins Junior had. And it was like, why is he getting the love? I'm the guy. Him struggling with the reputation. I don't know if you knew this, Corey, but before a season started, he went and did the Daytona race for the Xfinity Series. And he got in a crash at the end of the race, and he snapped he broke his tib fib on his right leg, and he broke his ankle on his left leg. There were compound fractures. And he actually missed half the Cup season. He came back for the All-Star race and then the 600s. First race back after broken legs and stuff like that was the 600. I think he did the All-Star race because he was allowed to do it, and then the 600 the next week. He won the championship that year.
That's wild.
So they ended up getting a win at Sonoma. Imagine this: you just broke both of your legs, like your ankle on one and your shin on the other, and you're in a hot day in Sonoma, and you're just gas brake, shift, gas brake, like, and we're 12 weeks removed from you destroying your leg. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, this is June, 6 months. So he was in June. The Daytona race was in late February, right? So 4 or 5 months, but great. I mean, great. I was trying not to spoil all of it, but definitely do that. So a good watch. But I mean, I don't even know who the most popular driver would be. Hocevar. If you watch a broadcast, Ricky Stenhouse is the most popular driver in NASCAR right now. Who are they highlighting?
Right, just with the way that the attention. Yeah.
Right. Who are they highlighting? Hocevar, Hamlin.
I was gonna say Denny. is the answer to that question.
Right. Like he's the most popular driver because a bunch of like NASCAR fans can't get out of their own way. But let's be real here. The most popular drivers every week are going to be Larson, Denny Hamlin, and Hocevar. I'm going to be honest with you. That's the storyline. This young gun on a small team being dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, he was passing because of Pocono.
Yes.
He was flying at Pocono. So he was crazy. But now it begins. The in-season tournament. And guys, I was wrong. I'm going to recant. Again, things slipping through the cracks. It is not average finish across the 3 races. It is highest finish of the 3 races. So Denny retained first because he finished first. It's not an average. So I was wrong. But guess what? That means Briscoe's the 2nd seed, I'm pretty sure.
He is 2 seed. I saw that. He is.
So some interesting things. We're going to Atlanta. I don't even know how you make a prediction in Atlanta. We're going to do our bracket right here, right now. Let me get this thing on.
This is going to be the official intentional wreck in-season tournament bracket number 1.
We're going to go bracketology. That's going to be the rest of this thing. Give you something to watch. See if we, it'd be fun to look back and see how well we did. But I mean, this is a crapshoot. In a way.
This one ain't a crapshoot.
I was going to say.
No, not Hamlin tied down. Atlanta is a crapshoot. But I think it's really weird for them to be Chicago and Sonoma. My one complaint. I love Atlanta being first because that's like the Sweet 16, right? Like that epitomizes that Sweet 16 feel. Anything could happen. Or not Sweet 16, the 64, the first round, right? Anything can happen if you get caught slipping, right? And I'm also curious to see like what happens in a wreck. Like, it's going to make watching the back of the pack matter. If there's some wrecks and some things like that.
This bunch of races that we're going to right now makes me feel like the tournament should have started after Charlotte.
Yeah, it's the weird.
Last 5 races should have been the tournament.
A Dover track where passing is not prevalent. Sonoma, Chicago, which it's like there's passing, but you have to be really good at one style.
Realistically, 3 crapshoot races in a row.
Can we get Kansas?
Road courses, kind of anything can happen.
Can we move Kansas?
There's also the fact that this culminates. This culminates in Indy. So there's an aspect of I feel like that may
the Indy is the championship round. I'm wrong. Yeah, sorry, Indy's the championship round.
So I feel like that may play a role in them trying to with them bringing the Indy oval back, trying to place an extra piece of significance onto that race. Yeah. Just given that I feel like it's a mixed bag on reactions to that. People want the Brickyard 400, right? And people have wanted that. At the same time, it's not uncommon for people to go, well, wait, why? That NASCAR doesn't always race there very well. It's not always the most exciting race. This just puts a little bit of extra, juice into that. So I feel like that probably played a role.
I will warn you guys, I tend to pick a little chalky when I do a bracket. So
hey, listen. All the rule is we got a majority vote. If we don't all agree, majority vote, and that is the end of it. All right.
All right. Well, I'm taking Denny.
I think anybody and their mom is taking Denny Hamlin over Ty Dillon. But I will say this.
Well, I don't know, man.
I will say this.
Not so fast, my friend.
Ty Dillon has impressed in that call-it car. Not gonna lie. I feel like we see Ty Dillon in the top 10 more than we see his brother in the top 10.
Yes.
So. Next is going to be Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski. I did.
Pick it?
I did already.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I missed
that one was pre-selected.
Right.
Next, we got Kyle Busch and Keselowski. And this is interesting because both of these are veterans. Both of these are really good super speedway drivers. My vote's going to go to Brad K. I feel like they're moving a lot quicker, a lot better pace.
Yeah.
It's more likely that he's going to have a teammate up front to help him. And honestly, at a crapshoot race like this, the 3 is more likely to win than the 8.
Yeah, I think Brad K's probably.
I mean, that's the majority, but are you in the same wavelength there, Jeff?
Yeah, I'll take Brad K in that one.
I don't think anybody's afraid of Kyle Busch right now. Also,
ooh. I mean,
this is a good one.
This man wins Atlanta all the time. You know what I mean? This man has won Atlanta, I think, multiple times. Logano, I think he's the clear favorite there.
I think so too.
So I'm not gonna fight that one. I'm not biased.
I appreciate your realism.
Listen, if that said J. Johnson,
right?
Do you understand?
Well, and it's fine though because Finn's gonna forget that he made this pick as soon.
Yeah, that's who? Joey who?
as we scroll past the booking. Forget having clicked it. Yeah. Wait,
All
there's
right.
a 22 car.
So this is an interesting one. Suarez and Wallace, right? Because right now, Suarez has kind of got a little bit of momentum. Bubba's on
If
the.
this was round two, I would have picked Suarez, but I'm picking Bubba at Atlanta.
You can go Bubba. I mean, Bubba's better. You know, here's the thing. Suarez has won in Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah, I recognize that. I understand that, but I'm just like longevity over the course of the season.
And DraftKings has it as a push.
Right.
Yeah, this is a. I mean, I think whoever we choose is losing to Logano, anyways.
Yes.
But what do you think? I'm gonna go Suarez. He goes Bubba. Who are you taking there, Corey?
I'll take Bubba.
All right, we'll go Bubba.
I'll take Bubba. Not for no other. This is just me being chalky.
I will say this: Bubba's got more friends to help him.
Yeah.
All right, we got John Hunter Nemechek and Josh Berry. Guys,
One of the more interesting matchups of this entire bracket,
Guys.
in my opinion. Like, what a the way that landed. Holy crap.
John
You know?
John Hunter has impressed on the 42.
He has. This has been a hell of a season for him thus far, and it's been kind of sleepy.
My fear,
I've been pleasantly surprised with how well he's running that car this year.
My fear is Penske's better at this track.
Yeah.
And they've got more friends. John Hunter isn't exactly high on the Toyota totem pole. But I'm going to go John Hunter with my vote because I think that the legacy is building something there. All right, it's the only chance I get to vote outside Eric Jones for Jimmy Johnson. But I think they're performing well. I think it's one of those he keeps it cleaner than Barry does. I think Barry gets caught up in something, and that's all it takes here. So I'm going to go John Hunter.
Well, I'll take Barry and leave it to Jeff. But there's no way you're putting $1 on that plus 150 for Nemechek. No way.
I'll put my paycheck on it. No, I'm kidding. Kid.
All right, pause the bracket. It's time. No, yeah, this one's tough. I think it's an interesting matchup. I think there's a solid case to be made for both. I'm gonna. It's tough because I kind of want the wild card factor of having to put especially with the next one that leads to this matchup. There is a part of me that kind of wants to put Nemechek in there just for the sake of seeding a little bit of chaos. But I'll take Barry for the sake of.
Well, you're going with the underdog here, seated at 21. So Josh Berry advances.
DraftKings disagrees with you, sir. They got Barry at minus 205.
I'm just talking about the underdog of the seeding, right?
The seeding, yeah.
All right, so Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon.
Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I think it's hard not to pick Chase Elliott here.
I just haven't seen enough out of Dillon.
Dillon's just the worst. He's just the worst.
Austin Dillon will sneak up something on a plate track. I don't think this plate track.
Right, that's really where I'm at. Is like if we were talking about Talladega or Daytona, there's just as good a chance that Dillon finds his way out to the front and gets there. I feel like there's just a little bit more of an edge.
Ross Chastain.
Eric Jones, Chastain.
Ross Chastain.
I think Chastain. That's the thing is Chastain has wrecked himself on these tracks because he's just a smidge too aggressive. And I think that the fact that he has a win already means he doesn't have to be. So Matt's going to be my vote. If this was a winless Ross Chastain, cool. But this is a Ross Chastain that's looking to get stage points and string together good finishes and keep race cars clean. Eric Jones needs a win. So I'm going to concur. I'm going to go Ross Chastain as well.
Well, Ross Chastain wrecks himself and Eric Jones wrecks everybody, including himself. So.
Well, what if Eric Jones wrecks Chastain?
That would be something.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that ends up happening.
I will tell you that this one right here, I'd be happy to get weird on.
Oh, Ricky Stenhouse, the super speedway extraordinaire. Chris Bell, who has definitely been the kind of guy who ends up with a wrecked car on.
Just sliding a little bit, Bell, right now.
Well, yeah, and so this is where you raise the question. Are we talking about Chris Bell is going to look for a good finish for the sake of like just getting some confidence rolling in through the summer? He's going to be looking to like it's a little bit of a different circumstance because it's been dry for a while for him now. And he's the kind of guy like he wants to keep the wins fresh, keep the good finishes fresh, and going in there. Stenhouse, there's a wild card factor that plays into here, and he's been running well at some of the super. Like, I can understand the case there. I'm trying to fight where my heart is, because my heart says Bell for this one.
I'm gonna pound the gavel and say Stenhouse here.
Well, keep in mind, Bell won this race.
I know.
Yeah.
Hocevar was up there, but Stenhouse was a top
Stenhouse
five.
top five.
You know what? Let's do it. Ricky. All right.
We're going Ricky.
All right. Briscoe and Gregson, I think this is a clear one. Briscoe's better at this track, at the style of track. Ryan Preece and William Byron.
William Byron ranked 18th is crazy.
Yeah, he's been
like, it's just, that is the case study in why the seeding matters and it not being purely based on just points. Because he does not have an easy path to the win here, like, at all. I mean,
18th for Ryan Preece earlier this year. 24 was.
Part of me kind of wants to take Preece here. Like, Preece is not bad. Bob Pocker's had him in his top 10 in power rankings this week.
Preece has been running a sneaky good season this year.
Yes.
Like, I really to me, in my opinion, with where things stand right now, like, Preece is my primary to be maybe out of the one or two that, like, I think that when we get to the playoffs, we're probably looking at a max of maybe 3 guys that point themselves in. And to me, Preece is
on the short list.
Absolutely one of the guys that I'm picking to be one
Preece
of them.
is the contrapoint to what we were saying earlier about the whole, bringing a clean car home. Is Preece needs a win. He's going to be putting everything he's got into this race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
It's going to depend on qualifying and whether Byron ends up sitting up towards the front. If we know what William Byron does when he has clean air. I mean, that's just that's a given. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to depend on where the qualifying lands for this one, but I'm fine with the wild card and throwing Preece in there.
Yeah.
Well, here's another one. Blaney and Hocevar.
Probably the top interesting matchups here is Blaney and Hocevar. I think this was my number one holy shit matchup between anybody is seeing these two.
Hocevar finished second here, and he was passing for the win.
Yes.
You know Hocevar could use that million too.
Oh man.
Yes. He's gonna get weird. I can take Hocevar here.
My vote's gonna go to Blaney. My vote's gonna go to Blaney.
I'm gonna pick Blaney primarily because I think that I think Blaney needs to see himself get up towards the front again. And this is also a track that, yes, Hocevar can pass. This is also a track that Hocevar could find himself into a tangle and end up in the back and out of this race.
Yeah.
Larson and Reddick is a good matchup.
At a track where they're not very good. At a track where they're not very good, right? Larson's not a good super speedway racer. Reddick has been struggling.
Reddick has been struggling might be the understatement of the entire season.
Yeah, he's been crazy.
He's been borderline not good.
He's just not been good at the track. Like, he's been fine in some areas, but he's just not good at the tracks that we're expecting him to be good at, and that makes it even harder on him. I think the 5 is an easy get here.
I think Larson here just because we dude, 2311 barely made it through the race last weekend with the cars running.
Right.
Like,
that with the brakes not exploding.
Yeah, we didn't even discuss that. We just glossed right over that whole storyline.
Hell, Bubba was one of the fastest in practice.
That decision should lose their job.
Bubba was one of the fastest in practice, dude, and he couldn't even get the car started for qualifying.
Yes.
They started it back.
Like, what are we doing?
McDowell and Allmendinger. I mean, McDowell's the better draft track guy.
I'll take Dinger here just to have him there for the 2 road courses.
They're both
part of the conversation.
They're both elite road course racers.
Yeah, I want McDowell here. Like, that's McDowell is my pick on this one.
All right, let's go McDowell.
Yeah. The thing is that I just, like, I understand what you're talking about in a general scope, but this season, I think that McDowell runs on this one. I don't think Dinger has the juice that he's had in the past, even rolling into the road courses.
This is gross.
Gibbs and Haley.
Ugh.
I'm taking Ty Gibbs.
I'm taking Ty Gibbs too, but not with any real confidence.
Well, for the last few races, the thing is, like, he's been running decent for the last few. And, like, so I'm not, I can understand from the overall season perspective, but just with this particular matchup alone, I don't know about anything advancing anywhere past this. But for the sake of having a couple of top fives and a few top tens and actually having led a couple of laps now, I think Ty's got more juice.
All right. Easy
Cindric here.
peasy. Yeah, I think
So
well, Zane's good at these
yeah,
tracks.
I don't know, man. Zane's having a season. Like
I'm taking
Zane's
Penske in
really
Atlanta
decent.
though.
Penske in Atlanta, eh? Well, hey, if that seeds it for you guys, you can go for it.
I mean,
I'll leave that one to you two.
I mean, Cindric wrecked. I'm Zane.
All right.
I'm gonna go Zane
Yeah,
here.
let's go Zane Smith.
Busher
and Gilliland.
Yeah, Busher.
easy.
All right, on to the next round. So Chicago street course. Hamlin Keselowski feels like abuse.
That's an easy Denny.
Bubba Wallace, Joey
on a road
Logano
course, I guess.
is also interesting because these are not road
Brad
course
Gay
racers.
he's not a road guy, right?
Neither is Denny.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we've seen Denny run up front at Sonoma. Like it's,
Denny sat pole at Chicago street course the first time he went there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but that was a rainy show of a scenario.
Sounds like a better driver. Keselowski was sideways.
I'm not going to tell you he's not a better driver. You're not going to get trust me. You're talking to the right guy on that one.
Keselowski is just not it. It is not there.
I'm taking Bubba for.
I'm gonna say I'm taking Bubba for no other reason than the matchup with Denny the following week.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Bubba. Logano's not much of a road course guy. Bubba has improved there tremendously. There's one thing at the
Didn't Bubba run decent at Chicago in the last one with the one that Bowman ran? Because they had their whole little ordeal at the end.
Yeah,
people made a bigger deal out of it than it was.
Yep, he also qualified front row at Coda, so there seems to be a lot of effort on that program to be better road course racers. So
yeah,
Elliott over Barry, feel like that's a clean one.
Yeah, for the road course. I wish it wasn't, but yes.
Chastain over Stenhouse.
Chastain.
Yeah, road course is a kind of a clean one. I'm going to take Briscoe over Priest unless it's raining.
Yeah,
I'll take
taking Briscoe over Priest here. We're breezing through the second round.
Briscoe does okay in the rain. If you guys remember that wild ass Dover rain, or was it No, it was Richmond, where it was raining and they had the weird wet tire situation.
I think it was Loudon.
Him and Bell were killing.
Well, they also did it at Richmond because we were at that race.
Yes. Him and Bell were just killing everybody when the track was wet, and then it dried up and they faded. But Chase likes the rain.
Larson and Blaney.
Oh, this is tough. Probably Larson, yeah, at Chicago.
Yeah, he's just a better road course racer than Blaney. Blaney's passable, but I don't think I see him really competing up there.
So on this next one with McDowell and Gibbs,
if this
was Sonoma, I would be I feel like it's a little bit even closer. But I don't know. At this one I'm taking McDowell. But
Gibbs,
I feel like Ty Gibbs does
what he did at Mexico City.
He does halfway decent on road courses, and he does decent on road courses that are a little more wide open, as opposed to Chicago. It's tighter and it's a little more condensed.
Right. The mistakes require more technicality. What made him do so good at Mexico City was he was playing bully ball a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
He did that in Xfinity quite a bit too when he was running. He was winning some road races there.
This is a great road course matchup. This is a banger of a road course matchup.
I'll take
Zane Smith Busher. I think Busher's kind of put himself down there as one of the better road course racers.
I'm taking Busher. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have a problem picking anybody over Chris Busher right now in just about any track. He's viable basically anywhere. There's a reason why he's seated third.
In a head-to-head, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. All right, on to Sonoma. Hamlin Wallace,
Denny.
Yeah, Denny's kind of got Sonoma locked up. I think he's just a little bit better. This is another good road course matchup, but I'm going to take Elliott. As much as we've talked
Same.
about him not being dominant, he's still very, very good.
Yeah, he's a threat at any road course that he
I
runs.
would bet my life that Chase Elliott does not advance through the first 3 rounds.
Oof. If it wasn't two road course races.
But I will tell you, I mean, I have no problem. I mean, this here is a democracy, not a dictatorship. But I'm telling you right now, not for 2 seconds do I believe that Chase Elliott makes it around 4. So, okay.
That's right. If it wasn't, because here's the thing. We've gone to 2 road course races this year. Both of those races ended with the 9 car passing like 20 cars in the last 15 to 20 laps. Like
that may not happen now with $1 million on the line.
If these were ovals, this is a different story, and especially with this matchup.
And Ross is no slouch on road courses. Did he win COTA a couple years ago?
He did win COTA, but he should have won, or Bowman should have won that race. Ross kind of cleaned out the 16 and the 48.
Ross do Ross things?
He kind of didn't fairly win that one. So, but he is a good.
I don't recall a tribunal being summoned. I think that win still counts.
It
in breaking rules.
It counts, but he is fast, but he hasn't been fast lately on road course races. Briscoe and Larson's interesting, man. Larson won this race at Sonoma last year. Really fast, really good road racer. But Briscoe's in a different ride. Briscoe's a real man.
Didn't the 19 team win it the year before that?
That 19 is a team that wins Sonoma.
They do well at Sonoma, man.
So
yeah, this is a tough matchup that we've dug ourselves into now.
I'm taking Briscoe.
You're gonna go Briscoe.
If you guys are gonna overrule me and take Larson, okay.
I'll go Larson. I'll let Jeff decide.
My heart says Briscoe. My brain says Larson. Pick Kyle Larson.
Ugh.
Sucks, but man, it just. I'll be pleasantly surprised though. Presently happy. I'll be chilling if Briscoe wins. This is a good matchup, man. We said who's gonna go head to head. Well, we got a road course race, and McDowell's really good at road course races, man. But that 17 is also really good at road course races.
I'm taking Busher and leaving it to you, Finn.
I'm taking McDowell. At Sonoma, I'm taking McDowell. If they were flipped and this was Dover, I'm taking Busher.
I'm gonna go McDowell.
Ugh.
Again, it's a matter of the track.
It's one of those. It's boring because it's a who can master the track. If this was Watkins Glen, it's flipped.
Mm-hmm.
Busher's really, really good at road course racing. Yes, I think McDowell is where we see the match. Another thing too, this is a McDowell team that just got to learn a lot about the car the week before. The more these guys get track time, the better they'll be at those types of tracks. And McDowell, I mean, really underrated in terms of road course racing for the series. So I think that's it for that round. Now we are on to round 4 at Dover. Hamlin and Elliott and Larson McDowell. A Cinderella run for Michael McDowell.
Yeah, I'm saying. And Elliott, honestly.
Hamlin and Elliott, are we thinking Hamlin cleans this one out? I mean,
yes.
At Dover, yes.
If we put Chase Elliott through to the championship round, we might as well throw this whole bracket out, dude. Denny, Hamlin.
Okay. And I think we're going to go Larson here. Larson over McDowell. Yes, I think that's a clear one.
Larson at Dover for sure.
All right. Well, that's a banger of a championship. All things said and done. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, best buds at Indianapolis. Hamlin is so quick, and he's really good at this style of track. Larson wins this race last year. So
and Denny has never won an Indy.
And Denny has never won. So can Denny win $1 million and a crown jewel he's never won at the same time? Or does Larson ruin the show and stink it up and lead?
I can't get past my heart on this one, and I have to pick Denny Hamlin just because, like, I want to see him finally get it. It's the only crown jewel he hasn't won. To get it in the first year of the the storylines, in my opinion, are far better for Denny to win this one. But I can understand from a, it's Kyle Larson perspective of taking that too. I can't get past my own bias on that one.
Me
so
and
I'm
Finn are
leaving
just
that
staring
to
each other down right now.
Yeah, I'm leaving you two to fight
You
this
got
one out.
all right. Flip a coin, bro. Who goes first?
I'll go first. I'm taking the 5 here.
Oh,
I'm taking the 5 here. I think winning last year, they've got so much speed, and if there's going to be one person that can dethrone the run that Denny Hamlin is on right now, it'll be Kyle Larson.
I think this right here, these two guys, is the absolute best case scenario for NASCAR as the final matchup. I don't think that you could take any other driver and really any you couldn't replace either of these guys with anyone and make a better matchup for the final. I'm gonna take Denny Hamlin.
Okay, and the
this
tiebreaker
is
for the thing is
yeah.
by how many seconds?
They're gonna spread out
I'm gonna go 2.5.
2.5.
I think
I'd probably go under two. I'd probably go 1.5.
Okay,
2.5 is a gap.
that's what I'm
dude,
saying.
Especially
It's
because
like golf.
Indy's
Think
start finish line is on a long ass straightaway.
You think too much draft? We'll keep somebody close, but
Yeah,
arrow
I
block
think
them.
1.5 is
Yeah,
2.5 is a big fucking lead at Indy, dude.
All right,
yeah.
let's see if there's anywhere
I
there.
agree on the 1.5 on this one.
All right, well, there's it. There's your brackets. We've got Denny Hamlin beating Kyle Larson, McDowell making the Final Four, Elliott making the Final Four. Gonna be. I will say this: if you're gonna have some interesting tracks in the middle of the season like this, at least having the stakes be like this might make the racing better, right? Late strategy
Wait,
calls,
interesting
2
tracks?
turns. When I say interesting tracks, I mean like interesting
Okay,
decision.
right. I was gonna say, let me just make sure you're not.
There's
like,
an interesting
really
decision to
pumped for
pull.
Sonoma.
Right. I mean, I love the road course product, and I love that we've got a ringer in there that just is gonna make every race a battle for. Can you fight
The
that?
road courses have grown on me, like in a big way. Sonoma has not.
Well,
I love
SCG,
Chicago. I love Coda.
SCG is gonna win by
Glen is gonna be a
25
banger.
seconds.
Watkins Glen is one of my favorite tracks on the circuit.
Yeah.
Sonoma is ass and will be ass until proven otherwise.
Well, that's our bracket, everybody. So,
Wow.
last thing we need to do is make our picks for next week for Victory Lane.
For Hotlanta. All right. Any of you guys
Go back
want
to
to
I was gonna say go back to there because it wouldn't make any sense for us to pick anybody but those guys. Really?
No, this is our personal picks for the whole field.
No, I know, but I want to see who we pick to make it through, so that we can,
I might do
Make
some,
sure
I might do a little insurance. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go
Well, I
John
mean-
Hunter. I didn't get to choose John Hunter over Barry, so for Victory Lane, I'm gonna go John Hunter this week.
All right.
That'll be my pick. Go get yourself some, brother. Go shock
right.
the world.
And this one, just for fun, just to make this one good, I'm going to go with Chase Elliott to win Atlanta. The hometown guy.
I am going to take, for a 2-win streak, Chase Briscoe.
Well, there it is.
There you go. That's
Okay.
exciting. And then, at least you'll get to actually do your Victory Lane with your boy.
Yeah.
Next year, we should make the caveat that if your driver wins, it overrides Victory Lane. Or you get a minute as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of fun getting to do Victory Lane while Corey's driver.
Hey, brother, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't care. Watching the end of that race on Sunday was just like, I don't give a shit about Victory Lane.
Right.
I could never win another Victory Lane. And frankly, I am on there was a time when I hit like 5 or 6 of those babies in a row. It has been a while. It has been like 2 or 3 months since I had a Victory Lane.
It's like Vin had one, and I've been on a tear without.
I have been on an absolute dog shit run with Victory Lane, and that's fine. I'll take it. The 19 doing well. I will sacrifice my personal screen time for my guy to race well.
No, I feel you on that 100%.
Very good.
Yeah. But that being the case, you have seen our bracket. You have seen where we stand on this one, and we have now made our picks, and I think that's going to wrap things up for us this week Please make sure you check us out on Twitch and check us out in sub on YouTube under the name Intentional Wreck. Please make sure you check Finn out on the broadcast for the Moonlight Racing League on Wednesday nights. I believe with our episode next week, we will have a more definitive time frame for when you'll actually be able to catch that and have a little bit more information. So please stay tuned. And other than that, let's get ready for Atlanta. Let's go racing. Everybody have a solid weekend.
See ya.
Peace.